Hello friends, today I take up a new topic and the name of the topic is privatization of nationalized banks, causes and outcomes. My lesson plan includes why is it in the news, introduction, causes for the profitability, low profitability of public sector banks, privatization of PSBs would result in job loss, the reason for privatization, positive impact of privatization, and finally conclusion. So friends, under these points I will cover this topic, that is privatization of nationalized banks, causes and outcomes. Friends, as you know that yesterday on 28th March and 29th March today, Banking Employees Federations gave a call for Bharat Bandh. That's why I have taken this topic. So why is it in the news? Number one, All India Bank Employees Association gave a call for Bharat Bandh on 28th and 29th March against privatization of nationalized bank. As you know that Government of India is proposing to privatize two nationalized banks, I mean Indian Overseas Bank and Central Bank of India. So against the privatization policy of Government of India, this All India Bank Employee Association issued a call for Bharat Bandh on 28th and 29th March. Again, they demanded a strengthening of nationalized banks, a speedy recovery of loans, higher deposit rates by banks, lower service charges on customers, as well as restoration of old pension scheme for staffs. Government has listed banking laws amendment law 2021 in the ongoing winter session of Parliament. The bill seeks to amend the Banking Companies Acquisition and Transfer of Undertaking Acts 1970 and 1980 and Banking Regulation Act 1949 to facilitate privatization of public sector banks. So, under this backdrop, different banking employee associations gave the call of Bharat Bandh on two consecutive days, on 28th March and 29th March. So friends, now I switch over to another point, introduction. As you know that in 1969 under Srimati Indira Gandhi, 14 major banks were nationalized in 1969, and those banks which has capital of more than 15 crore rupees, they were 1969, and it was a historic moment. Thereafter, after Srimati Gandhi came back to power in 1980, she again nationalized 7 more banks. So there were 21 nationalized banks. Now, why banks were nationalized? Because it was thought that banks are doing service to big business houses, corporate houses, and the policy of all-round development of Government of India is not being implemented by these private banks. These private banks are for the benefit of big industrial magnates, big business houses. So now Government of India nationalize these banks which has more than 15 crore rupees as their capital. Now after nationalization of banks, branch extension grew rapidly after 1969 from 8,260 to 98,607 branches in India by 2013. Similarly, bank deposits of 5,910 crore rupees in 1970-71 and bank credit 4,690 crores rupees. Bank credit reached to 67,50,454 crore bank deposits and 52,60,459 crore bank credit in 2012 to 13. So you can see how much the branch expanded, the credit and the deposit also reached at its high level. But there was certain chink in its armor, in its growth story, and that was causes for low profitability of PSBs. Friends, as you know that gross non-performing asset level in India in 2014 to 2020. By this graph, I will show how the gross non-performance assets have witnessed in different government banks. So this is the comparative chart, and you see the PSUs. This is the public sector bank and its NPA or gross NPA was 4.4% in 2014, while for private banks in India it was 1.8%, and for foreign banks it was 3.9%, and overall NPA was 3.8%. Now in 2018, what you find that for public sector banks in India, the NPA touched 14.6%, and for private bank in India, the NPA was 4.6%. For foreign banks in India, it was 3.8%, and total NPA was to the tune of 11.2% of the total capital. Now, what you see in 2020, now NPA for public sector bank came down to 10.3%. For private bank, it was 5.5%. For foreign banks, it was 2.3%, and overall NPA was 8.2% in 2020. So you see that there was a steep reduction as far as NPA for public sector bank is concerned, and it is very much a good sign for the growth of our banking sector. Now, gross non-performing assets of private banks across India between financial year 2017 and 2021. What you see that in financial year 2017, it was 0.94% for private banks. For 2018 financial year it was 1.86%, 2019 it was 1.84%, for financial 2020 it was 2.1%, for financial year 2021 it was 2%. So by this data what we see that the gross non-performing assets of private banks are very much less than that of public sector banks. But it is heartening to note that I have shown you by our previous graph that how NPA is getting reduced from more than 14% to around 10%. Now, declining interest income. Why there was low profitability of public sector banks? In spite of branch expansion, in spite of the increasing volume of credit and capital deposit, why there was less profitability for public sector bank? Number one, declining interest income for bank on account of high proportion of total deposit being impounded in CRR and SLR, cash reserve ratio and statutory liquidity ratio, and earning relatively low rate of interest. At one time it was CRR and SLR both taken together, it was 53.5%. So what you see, these amounts were impounded under CRR and SLR. Now the ratio now has been reduced. So a high proportion of bank deposit had to be allocated to priority sectors like social banking, and rate of interest earned was quite low. 1% of the total deposit had to be lent to weaker section of society at the concessional rate of 4% interest. PSB had been forced by the government to lend to dubious parties for the promotion of agriculture and industries in India. This resulted into non-paying assets or non-performing assets. Rising cost of operation on account of uneconomic branch expansion. Number one, heavy recruitment of employees. Number three, growing indiscipline. Number four, inefficiency of the staff due to the trade union activities. Low productivity, heavy salary bill. Because of these reasons, the expenditure has been rising or mounting and profits were squeezed. Now huge losses to PSBs by stock brokers like Harshad Mehta, Ketan Parikh and CM Agrawal because of their manipulative activities, and low level of supervision by senior officers of different public sector banks, that also led to the low profitability of PSBs. Now, there are certain people who are against privatization. Why? Because like All India Banking Employee Association or Federation, their argument is that if privatization of PSBs is done, then what will be its negative impact? Number one, PSBs merger have brought down public sector bank from 27 to 21 and now resulting in employee retrenchment, bank branch closures. Total employee strength of PSB has fallen from 8.57 lakh in 2017 to 7.7 lakh in March 2021. Again, total PSB branches declined by 3,321 between March 2017 and September 2021. So there is a reduction in the expansion of branch, and secondly, reduction or retrenchment of banking staff over the years. Further privatization would accelerate the trend and sinking employment opportunity for the youth. Again, SC, ST and OBCs would be deprived because unlike the public sector, private sector doesn't follow reservation policy for the weaker section of society. So, privatization would lead to disadvantage for weaker section of society like scheduled caste, scheduled tribe and other backward classes. Private sector banks concentrate on the more affluent section of society and urban areas. They are more concentrated in urban areas. They do not look to rural areas, and since India is made of villages, more than 5 lakh villages are in India. So what you see that privatization of banks will lead urban centric development. Again, privatization of PSB will lead to financial exclusion of weaker section of society. Friends, as you know that nationalization of bank was done for the purpose of giving facilities, loan facilities to weaker sections of society and to remove those banks from the clutches of business magnates of that time. So what you see that again privatization will lead to disadvantage to the weaker section of society, and it will be more inclined to favoring higher class business magnates. And everybody knows that bottom 50% of the population are struggling to eke out their livelihood on account of pandemic, corona and other factors. So they are of the view that privatization would definitely be a great loss to weaker sections of society or those people who are at the bottom of 50% of the population. Now you see that PSBs account for 65% of all commercial bank deposits, and as far as individual deposits are concerned, it amounts to 70% of the total deposits in India. Again, a significant number of private banks and financial institutions have failed in recent times, like Yes Bank, like Lakshmi Vilas Bank, DHFL. So you cannot say that private banks are very much safe. They are more vulnerable than PSBs. Now privatization of PSB will remove the sovereign guarantee behind the PSB deposit and make household saving less secure. The growing NPAs and fraud in private banks also showed that these occurred in independent bank ownership. PSB privatization will reward crony capitalism instead of serving the NPA problem. Now, friends, I switch over to another point. Why Government of India is thinking in terms of privatization of banking sectors. Now, number one, declining economy on account of the ongoing pandemic corona. Friends, everybody knows that for the last 2 years, in 2019 and 2020 or 2021, the growth rate has been very much marginal. It had dipped in the negative. So, according to a financial stability report, RBI by RBI, gross NPA of banks are anticipated to shoot up from 8.5% in March 2020 to 12.5% until March 2021. Now, privatization of bank would lead to effective supervision and regulation and a sense of market discipline. Again, rising NPA problem will be sorted out by privatization of banking sector. To do away with the dual control, once privatization will be started, it will do away with the dual control of RBI and Finance Ministry. Again, there is a constant intervention of the government that tends to politicize in the normal functioning of PSBs, and once a bank will be privatized, there will be no interference of government in day-to-day activities. The positive impact of privatization. Number one, will help in reducing NPA issues, non-performing assets issues, boost the economy by recapitalizing PSB with the help of raising fresh equities, thereby empowering banks to resume lending, improve their performance, and simultaneously privatize their ownership structure. Again, dilution of for the government stake in PSB by bringing fresh equity and foreign direct investment will give the debt-ridden PSBs a push towards recovery and growth. The recapitalization of banks through systematic disinvestment of government holdings would boost the economy, will bring in administrative efficiency and customer service better. As you know that it is a general perception that private banks give better customer facilities than PSBs. Now, what is the conclusion that we derive from this lecture? Number one, you see this one is a graph, and this graph will show you, this pink color show you March, and blue September 19, yellow March 20, and green it is September 20. By this graph, what you see, that public sector bank, other banks, credit and deposit growth. What is the growth percentage year on year? So what you see, that for public sector bank in March 19, it was around 5.5% growth, public sector banks. Now in September 19, it was around 2%. Now in March 20, what you see, that it was around 3%. And in September 20, for PSUs, public sector bank, the growth was, credit and deposit growth was around 4.6%. But for private bank, what we find, it is credit growth. Now credit growth for public sector bank was 4.6% in September 20. Now for private bank, the credit growth was in the pink. It is more than, it is around 30%. In March 19, for private banks it was around 30%, and in September 20, the credit growth for private bank was 7.1%. In March 20, the credit growth was around 12%. So you see that the credit growth for foreign banks in September 20 was minus 5.4%. In March 19 it was around 12%. So what you see that for all cumulatively it is now in March 19 what you find that the growth was, credit growth rate was around 15%. Now it's slided down to 5% in September 20 on account of pandemic corona. For deposit growth, what you find? For public sector, it was 9.6 in September 20. For private sector, it was 10.4% in September 20. For foreign bank, it was 20.3% as deposit growth. And for all, what you see that deposit growth is cumulatively 10.3%. Now privatization of PSBs will lead to a structural change in the banking sector, will increase capital inflow and foreign investment, economic resilience and competition in the market, which will be eventually beneficial for the debt-ridden PSBs. Privatization is not the panacea. The need of the hour is to strengthen banking system. Friends, as you know that in China, what you find that one country and two economic system. One is public sector, which is commanded by the government of the day, I mean Communist Party. And another sector is private sector, where the China has opened its economy in 1979 and thereafter it grew by 10% annually. And now it is the second largest economy of the world, having touched more than 15 trillion American dollar as its GDP next to US. So my position is that banks should get, privatization of banking sector or any other sector is not panacea. Rather, banks should get more freedom to fix minimum lending interest. There should not be interference of government as far as fixation of interest rate is concerned. Again, all concessional rates of interest should be removed. Again, the dual control of RBI and Finance Ministry must end in order to bring efficiency in the banking sector. Priority sector lending should be reduced to 10% instead of the 40% of the present, the total banking credit. Branch expansion must be carried out strictly on commercial principles. Government should see whether that is viable or not. Loss-making branches must be closed. Recovery of debts should be expedited. And government has made so many laws to deal with the defaulters. So, recovery of debts should be expedited so that they should not go scot-free. Supervision of banks should further be strengthened so that no other Harshad Mehta or Malia or Parekh should again take away money from banks. So friends, My conclusion is that instead of privatizing, government should make these public sector banks more efficient, more effective, because these banks have been created by hard labor of thousands and thousands staffs, by leaders, by visionary leaders. So these banks should not be privatized. Rather, they should be strengthened by supervisory works, by checking out different loopholes, by checking out leakage. Overstaffing must end. The ratio of SLR and CRR must come down, so that banks should be at liberty to maximize their profit. So friends, I am now winding up my lecture. If you like my lecture, please share and subscribe. This is free channel, AJIS Academy. Just tell your friend that this hundreds of videos have been uploaded on this channel. Please take benefit out of my lectures. Thank you very much.